Hello everyone, Carrington here from Open Heart Games, and we are back after our holiday break. It's been 2 weeks since our last session. Very excited to get back to it. Everyone's level 3, which is fantastic, and I think everyone's pretty excited about that. So, I also think someone has a hot mic, or at least maybe I'm hearing my own. I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and start with a quick reminder of who all of our characters are. We'll go ahead and start at the top with Korash, our sorcerer. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are in chat, and introduce your character.
Hello, everyone. My name's Jabril. I'm playing Korash. In chat, what's my name in chat?
I know this one.
It's probably Jabrilopad.
Yep, that is the one.
I will be the resident problematic sorcerer, as it turns out. Last session wasn't really my shining moment, so I'm hoping to recover from that and get back to my usually charismatic self.
All right, love it. And last week we were not quite joined by our cleric, but our cleric is back, and that is Mordok. So take it away.
I'm Dave. I'm playing as Mordok. I'm our cleric who's trying to figure out still how to level up and get all my spells here. So
I had forgotten. Yeah, we'll make sure we take plenty of time to get everything done.
Yeah.
I always forget that you're an ASMR. I don't know why.
Because I look like a normal human. That's why.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just maybe with just kind of a divine appearance, maybe.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Almost too perfect, maybe.
Yeah, but now I have my wings, so.
All right.
Flying.
Oh, do you get your wings at level 3? You can fly?
Yeah.
So can you just fly whenever you want, or how does that work?
No, it's a once per long rest thing.
Oh, okay. You can't just fly all the time like some people.
No.
I'm looking at you, Korash.
Yeah. So.
What are you talking about?
So one of the things I do as a game master is, like, if you can fly at will at level 1, I'm going to make you work for it. And the reason why is because it's so powerful to be able to just fly wherever you want. A lot of the monsters, not almost all, a lot of the monsters don't have ranged attacks. So they can't do anything if you just, like, fly 30 feet up and then just, like, pelt them with, firebolt. You're eventually just going to win by attrition because they just can't do anything. So I will either give, like, for example, I'll give skeletons longbows and not even feel bad about it.
I think I've been pretty respectful with
you definitely have, and I guess this is more of a general thing. You've been good, but also, like, for your character's got, like, really, really big wings, and you kind of have to, like, tuck them up under your robes and all of that. So, like, when you, like, have to, like, pull your wings out, like, it's a bit of an ordeal. And they definitely make you you can't be very inconspicuous with that.
Sure.
So, because I know early on, Aarakocra were the first species, I don't like the word race, that didn't have or that had a fly speed at level 1, and they were very strong. Because you can also just, like, fly over traps and stuff, and that's kind of frustrating for a game master. But I digress. So without further ado, take it away, our noble druid Patron.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Brad, also known as Hitohari in chat, and I am playing Patron Purpleheart, our spider dive bomb tactic druid.
That was pretty funny, and we'll definitely get to the recap on that in a second. Which y'all may have to help me fill in stuff, because it's been 2 weeks, and I don't remember everything. I can watch you can watch the video. The video's still up. But anyway, watch this one first. Zed. Last but certainly not least.
Hi, I'm Zed. I'm BGX Mage, both in chat and on Twitter. I play Zed, who is your lovable kobold monk, who wants to grow up one day and be a dragon.
Wants to grow up one day and be a dragon?
Yep.
Love it.
That's what Zed wants to do.
Let's see. Recap time. I guess, like I said, we're going to have everyone help us out. So we did have a character in our last session who joined us, who was playing Pip. Pip is going to be one of those characters that's going to drop in and drop out throughout the sessions, so that will be fun. But Pip will not be here this week. Pip may be here in the future. Pip will do Pip things. That character was a how do you pronounce the actual species? Is it Hargamon?
Haragon.
Haragon. Okay, sorry, Haragon.
Rabbit
Artificer.
folk.
Yeah, rabbit folk. Yeah. I'm trying to avoid making a gun bunny joke, but it's just right there.
I think I can give us a pretty decent recap.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
If I'm reading Zed's journal correctly, I should be able to give us a pretty good recap. Go ahead, Brad.
I was gonna say Pip is actually here. He's just not in voice chat. He's
In voice
messaged.
chat,
I'm
yeah.
here.
What was that?
Pip is
I
here.
just
He's
said
just
Pip
not
is
in voice chat.
Yep.
Interesting. I'm very confused. All right. Cool.
Anyways, so we reached the campsite, and as we were trying to figure out our strategy, we noticed this rabbit-looking character kind of tracking us as we were also kind of tracking them. Turns out it's Ricochet, Cottontail, aka Pip. And we introduced ourselves. I did the classic, "Do you like dragons?" He said no, which was disappointing, but we lived on.
Hello.
Oh, there we are.
Welcome. So then, we decided, and Koresh kind of led us on this venture, was to swing around to the backside where the watchtower was, and try to finagle our way to getting some information, to get, all the good things that you could possibly want by interacting with the enemy in a watchtower. And unfortunately, we were not very convincing. They had this worker. His name was Jerry, and Jerry was very diligent about procedures and making sure that everything was, all the T's were crossed and all the I's were dotted, and saw right through all of our garbage, and was very adamant on reporting us to the higher ups. And he made this ladder because he was going to climb down a cliff, and Patron decides to turn himself into a spider, or was a spider. That was part of the whole that sneak around sort of thing. Using his spideriness, hopped onto Jerry and started biting him as they were climbing down, because the idea was, if we bite Jerry, Jerry's going to fall down, maybe die. Little did we think about what would happen to Patron, but I digress for a second. So, anyways, we succeeded in that. We bit Jerry's hands. Jerry fell to his death. Patron almost died. He quickly unwild shaped and then quickly re-wild shaped back into the spider. And then we're like, okay, this watchtower is not working. We've got people dressed like cultists and a kobold. Let's try the front door. Back door didn't work. Let's try the front door. So we go through the front door. Easiest thing you could possibly be. We meet some kobolds. They're like, yeah, go. You're late. La 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 la. So we walk in. We treat Patron like a prisoner, and happen to tie him up next to our monk mission. We see Leosin. We're not too confident that that's who it is, but we'll find out today. And Patron's tied up next to him because we learned early on in the day that bears can climb. So
they have a climb. They in fact have a climb speed. We found that out, and that was a thing.
So bears can climb. So the plan was Patron was going to stay and pretend to be a prisoner, and when the timing was right, which we had to wait for sundown to make this happen. Pip and Korash decided to get a little crafty with their boom apparatuses and whatnot, and create a nice little distraction by setting one of the tents on fire, which created a big enough distraction that Patron was able to grab the monk, turn himself into a bear, and climb up, and we are now running away from the campsite. There was some interaction with behind the scenes with the bad guys, and the last thing that we learned from the bad guys or heard from the bad guys was find them, send a team and go find them. So we're on the run. The bad guys are figuring out their next move.
Yep.
All the while Mordock was off doing something. We'll find out how Mordock joins us in a little bit. But that was last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Excellent. So I was mistaken, and I'm the worst. Pip is here with us tonight. Very happy about that. So Pip, why don't you introduce your character?
Yes. I will say my name is Jonathan, and I'm chatting as Weird Knight in the chat. And Pip is now a 3rd level artificer. I practiced that all week so I could say it right. He is an artificer and an artillerist. Oh, crud. He brings the boom. Let's put it that way.
Oh, fantastic.
Lots of noise.
I just imagine your character just a little bit like the vegetarian version of Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah. That's good. That's not bad.
Yeah. Because, non-Monty Python rabbits are not usually carnivores.
This is true.
Very good. All right. Let's see where we are right now. The group had left the camp and is heading back towards Greenest, which is the town. So this is where we left off a little bit ago. I think we. Oh, don't you worry. I have. Oh my gosh. Here's the question: How did Mordock get back? Surprise.
Astral projection.
Exactly. So you so all of you are kind of running after having created all of these noises and distractions previously. The big bad Rezmir had said, go find them. But what are you all going to do now? 'Cause that's kind of where we left things. You all are kind of leaving, going to find your wagon. What are you doing after having caused this chaos?
Well, I will say that with the fires in the background, Pip, who had normally been rather reticent and kind of quiet, you could see his eyes light up with all of the carnage and destruction that's going on behind him.
Nice.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Did we find any gold anywhere along the way? Or get paid?
No, of course not. You're heroes. What would give you that idea?
Feel like we were paid by the town, but I could be wrong.
I think that there was some amount of payment. I think it may have been upon completion of the mission. At least
Okay.
If I was the mayor of the town, that's how I would set it up. That way you're not just sending the bad guys a sack of gold.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, I imagine it was on completion of the mission.
I'm like 90% sure. I'm looking right now. Let's see here.
I do have something for us for
Yes.
this first leg of the journey.
He was willing to pay you 250 gold apiece for finding out the following information. How many raiders there were, where the camp is located, who their leaders are, what's motivating the attack, where they plan to strike next.
Okay. Interesting.
What amount of that information do we actually get?
I think maybe 2 pieces. Or did you? How are we leaving? How are we escaping from the thing? Someone else had a question, sorry, before I go into that.
Well, I have a thing for us for that leaving part.
Okay. Are you doing it right now?
Yeah, this is the time to do it.
Okay. Do it. What are you going to cast? Oh, and we need the chat over just a hair so we can see it.
I guess so. Hopefully we don't break it.
Okay.
I'm casting that.
Pass without a trace. Great spell. Love it.
Good old pass without trace.
Yep.
So, for the next hour, as we hop feet out of this camp with our prisoner in tow, we will essentially.
Was that some sort of bunny joke?
It was. It was indeed.
Hey,
So-
only rabbits can make bunny jokes.
Oh,
no.
wow.
Oh, whoa. Once one's in the party, it's all a game. I got a wild hair, and I'm going to use it. But essentially, I'm gonna cast this on us. So all of us, as we beat feet out of here, get to our cart and start heading back to the town of Greenest. For the next hour of our trek, our tracks are pretty much hidden, and we can't be tracked except by magical means.
Okay.
So you best be using some divination and stuff.
Well, hang on. Let me just check real quick. I need to see the stats of a scout.
Well, I'm sure those kobold diviners will be all over us here any second.
Oh, yeah. Rolling with advantage, too, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even.
Is
I
it
wouldn't
magical
even
advantage?
roll.
I'm
It's-
so
DM
so that we're clear.
shenanigans,
So that we're clear. I am making what is called in the Game Master world a joke. So
Can you explain that? We don't have that on the player side.
it's stuff that's just clearly behind the screen.
Okay. GM hack
They're-
type stuff.
DM,
Yeah.
yeah, DM shenanigans are coming.
Yeah, sometimes when I would write notes behind my screen, sometimes I would literally write stuff just for my own entertainment. Just like someone would say something and I would look at their initiative slot and then just write like this guy. and they'd be like, "What are you writing down?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it." And then just
Or
like
when the party's unruly and you ask somebody to make a perception check for no reason.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my favorite was one time I wrote down this guy, and the guy got really concerned. He's like, "What are you writing?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it." And then I wrote down a little bit longer. I wrote, "I've got him right where I want him." And then he was just freaking out the entire session.
I can confirm.
Mm-hmm. So
Via trust issues.
it's nowadays with all the technology, it's gratuitous amounts of typing. That's what throws people.
You gotta
But
get clicky keys now.
yeah, click. Oh, I've got an automatic keyboard. It makes wonderful noises when I type things in.
Love it.
So, in fact, I can confirm that scouts do not have ways to track you by magical means.
Love to hear it.
All right,
What a bunch
I
of
need
suckers.
one person to make a stealth check.
With
I
a
vote
plus
that it
10.
is
Yeah, with a
not
plus
me.
10. Whoever wants to do it,
Zed's got some stealth.
do
Let's go.
All right, a 26.
it. 26. Is that all?
I mean, I rolled a 16 and then plus 10.
Oh. All right. Well, we've got this. So here we go. How's
Yeah, I
an
don't
18 look?
I don't think that's
to
gonna
my-
do it.
I don't think that's 26.
To my 26.
Gosh golly. Sure isn't.
Yeah, that checks out.
All right. So the scouts return.
Betcha that's not going to be a fun return.
Nope. This is a fun thing. We can just do a short role play. Further, I'm sure making Resmir feel like it's time to pull out. The scouts return empty-handed, and they say it's as if they evaporated. There are boot prints and then nothing.
I think Resmir would just kill one of the scouts just out of pure anger.
Oh, awesome! She has a two-handed sword. Does she do that, or does she spray him with acid?
Yeah, she just so he's like standing there looking like a pangolin, with his little hands,
Yes.
together like
That's
this,
the cutest thing ever, and you're gonna kill him.
Hey.
I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
liege, but they have escaped, and she just swings the sword around and just takes his head off, and it like goes rolling out, and the other one's kind of like back,
Yep. One of them backs up and trips over the fallen head and falls to the ground.
Yeah, there you go. That's great.
What does she say after that?
Double time. We must get out of here, and starts swinging that sword around to motivate her crew.
I would say that they're properly motivated.
Yet again, druids, the bane of D&D NPCs everywhere.
For sure. So, the party makes their way back, just kind of fast-tracking things. They make their way back safely without any encounters on the way to Greenest. And I believe one of the characters wanted to have a moment. Is that still the case, or do you want to wait?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do it.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it as they make camp?
Yeah. So as Zed's little and like y'all are much bigger than him, so you're all going to be setting up camp, and you notice Zed goes ahead and takes a seat, grabs his bag, and then you notice Zed just pulls out this relatively giant, like to Zed, manuscript. It's really dusty and it's really like tall and skinny. You kind of see him pull that out of his backpack and plop it on his lap, and kind of just admires. You can see a look of admiration on his face.
Leosin is... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. I'm kind of keeping my distance, Korash is, kind of because I know that throughout the course of that last adventure, I kind of put a hurting on Zed on accident, and Zed's a little bit terrified, so I'm not trying to, cause him any more discomfort.
Yeah. Oh, the manuscript not only is like it's long and it's really really dusty. It looks really old, but it also has a collar kind of wrapped around it to kind of keep it from unrolling. The collar is a dragon with its wings kind of spread out and wrapped around, and its tail kind of does a loop around it.
One of my favorite words, unfurled.
Yes.
Are you doing this out in the open, or is this something you're kind of trying to keep away from the group?
Oh, like y'all are just setting up camp, and Zed knows that he's not really helpful in that regard, so he just kind of pops a squat, and it's just like crisscross applesauce on the ground, because he really wants to take a look at this, take a look at what he found.
Okay. Can I make a perception check to see if I can tell if there's any writing on the front of it?
Yeah, you can do that.
Let me find my button. Oh, this is going to be good.
Hey, that's
Probably just a picture book of how to train your dragon.
How to train as a dragon.
There you go.
So you can see that on. Do you speak Draconic or read Draconic?
I do.
There are Draconic runes on there.
Do you want another perception check to see if I can read it, or if I'm just noticing them?
It says something about the way and then dragon.
Okay. I won't outright approach Zed at this point. I was just, Korash is just a little curious what this massive book is doing in the hands of little bitty Zed.
So as the rest of the this will be a fun moment since the rest of the party seems very interested in kind of getting the campsite set up and everything, and kind of making sure that everything is squared away. Leosin will actually walk up to and kind of sit down, legs crossed as well, and he will say, "Tell me, my small friend, peace be with you. Where did you find that manuscript?"
Oh, well, it's kind of you to think that I found it. So when you were tied up, and we tied our friend Patron, I think you guys have met. We had a little bit of downtime, and I can only read the book I have so long. So I kind of snuck off and kind of went on a little adventure in the campsite, and there's so many tents, and I was just popping through. Some of the tents, there were some pretty mean-looking people that kind of yelled at me, but then I came across one tent. And it was full of treasure. There was like so much gold and so much things, so many resources. I was a little surprised. But as I was like kind of taking a look, kind of see what was happening, I was surrounded by kobolds. Yeah, they can be mean, but so are my siblings, so whatever. And I was looking around and I saw another kobold. I think they were in charge of taking a look or keeping that tent safe, but they weren't doing a very good job because they were asleep. And they kind of were hugging a vase like a teddy bear. And out of this vase was this manuscript, and it had a dragon, and I really like dragons, so kind of just picked it up and put it in my backpack. And just as I did that, some other kobolds came over, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh goodness!" And I kind of whacked the one that was asleep. I was like, "He was sleeping. I was just trying to wake him up." And they were like, "Well, the shift's over. Move along." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, I found it.
You're quite resourceful for a kobold. Apologies. I've not met many kobolds, but you strike me as one who's very resourceful.
Yeah, my mom always said I liked a little too much about what's going on. A little bit too much for my own good. Yeah.
He points at the runes and says, "What do you make of these runes?"
Oh, well, this and you watch Zed unfurl maybe about a third of it, and he, this simply just says, "Way of the Ascendant Dragon," and then looks like some instructions, kind of like a cookbook.
He says, "May I?"
I guess so.
He takes the band around the scroll and unfurls it, and you can see that it shimmers. It shimmers almost like with a golden light, and like the Pulp Fiction light. And Leosin looks at it and he says, "These runes are stances." And he then stands up and looks at them and begins like standing, and then kind of nudges Zed to mimic him.
Yeah, Zed stands up and what are we doing?
The way of the Ascendant Dragon.
Oh.
And so as the sun sets, we have this wonderful karate kobold scene where Leosin walks through this kata with Zed. and he begins helping him like with his stances. He just kind of like, pushes a foot this way, squares a shoulder up this way, and he says, I sense great courage in one so small. I've never sensed it in one so small. He says, but I think it's hidden. There's something that you're afraid of. Once you are able to face it, he says, I believe that this pathway will open many doors for you.
Oh, geez, I'm afraid of so many things.
So
This
here's
is going to take a while.
with that, he rolls up the scroll, clamps it down, and he hands it back to Zed, and he says, keep practicing. He says, I think this is a good form for you. So with this happening kind of in the background as everyone is making camp, here's my question for everyone as this scene is happening. What does everyone feel about, what does everyone think of this as it's going on?
Who wants to go first?
I guess
I'll go first.
Okay.
Korash has a little bit of hesitation simply because of his background, but being that Zed has been no kind of, I guess, malicious in the past, there's not like an outward display of that, kind of just in his head noting it so that in the future it's, not something that catches him by surprise.
Gotcha. Anyone else?
Yeah. Patron would be also not exactly setting up the tents and everything. I mean, Druid, I'm used to the outside and the rough stone. So he's just going to be sitting on the back of the cart, tankard of ale that wasn't expended next to him, drinking it, carving a little canary. He actually will start a second little wooden canary, one to replace the one he dropped, and the second little wooden canary for a little bit later, watching Zed practice his dragon katra.
All right.
I think it's kind of amusing that our little mascot friend has found a friend, and I just, kind of chuckle to myself and go about setting up the camp. Because
I like that the somewhat dark character is like, that's kind of cute.
yeah, kind of.
Carrington, can I roll a history check?
Basically, somebody else is paying attention to him, so none of us have to.
Oh.
There. I was waiting for that.
And we're back. All right. What was that? Sorry, Crash?
Can I roll a history check to see if I can tell if I've seen anything like this in the past?
Sure. You sure haven't.
No, not even a little bit.
Nope. And then what about Pip?
So, Pip... Go ahead.
That's because it's new, so there's no history on it.
And we're back to metagaming. Love it. All right. Pip, go ahead. Sorry.
So, yeah, Pip is kind of sitting outside and watching this whole thing go on, and he's seems to be whittling something out of wood, and every now and then looks up and kind of got this feeling in his head. It's like, good for the little guy. I was a little worried about him. I know monks. I've seen monks. He's doing something monkish. So, yeah, good for him. And then just kind of going back to carving this thing.
Excellent. All right. So as the sun sets, Leosin and with Zed in tow, sit down at the campsite with the fire and all of that, and he says, Peace be with all of you, brothers. Thank you so much for my rescue. I'm still a little sore, but I am very thankful for everything that you do, for the risk that you all took to rescue me from the cult. If I may, I would like to impart to you all that I overheard and all that I have learned so far. Hopefully it may be of use to you in the days to come. I have noticed that this cult has some different sects in it. There are those who are of the very, who proclaim Tiamat's glory, and those who are much more reserved, the old guard, as it were, that are much more secretive. But the cult's influence seems to stretch across this land. But not everyone was a full-fledged member of the cult. Many of the new initiates were working towards full acceptance, but others were simply mercenaries who were working for coin, hired out to flesh out the camp's strengths during raids, and to stand guard. He says they had hunters to bring in food, and they have been ranging far and wide on their raids to collect treasure. Greenest was the closest target to the camp, and the biggest of all the towns that they have attacked, which there have been many. And it was the most profitable attack by far.
So, what do they need all this gold for?
All I know is that it has something to do with the Dragon Queen. They keep praising her, the mother of dragons, Tiamat, the powerful dragon goddess. They say that she shall return, and when that, and they are trying to build a horde worthy of her name, and that when she comes, all the nations of the world shall tremble and crumble before her majesty. So, at the time, the plunder from the settlements was kept stored in a nearby cave. There was a large pile. They were taking it in by crates and barrels, gems, jewels, scrolls, magical items, all sorts of things.
So, when he hears this monk, sort of talking about this, Pip kind of walks over and he says, so their end game is to summon some dragon goddess? Is that what they're trying to do?
Well, that would be impossible. From my understanding, I believe that she is somehow trapped somewhere, according to my sources. It would take a near deific effort to free her. I believe that it's impossible. But
cultists has never been known to be the most rational of people.
True. But even if they're delusional, they're still causing problems for real people.
Yeah,
So,
they could be. Do we have any idea what they think would bring her back? Even if it's impossible.
I've only been tracking them for mere weeks, and I've told you almost everything I know now.
Well, that's all I need to hear. I mean, they bleed, so let's kill them, all of them.
I do not know if bloodshed
Agreed.
will. I don't know. I do not know. I cannot condone bloodshed, but they must be stopped.
I can.
He just kind of hangs his head in defeat. I understand.
How many in size do you think their camp was? You were in there the longest.
Well, I didn't keep count, but I think someone said about 200 to 300.
When Korash hears Tiamat, does that ring any bells from talking with, or from his history, living with his family and what we do?
You would have heard whispers and whatnot, but like you're talking about like formation of the world kind of stuff. Like that's when Tiamat was walking the earth.
Okay. Okay.
So the name, yes, and there probably would have been followers of Tiamat that you may have encountered from time to time, but nothing that really rings a bell.
Got it.
So.
And would I be connecting this to my run-in, however long ago it was?
It might be, yeah. It could
Okay.
be. It could be connected.
Okay.
Leosin also says I've been tracking them for mere weeks, but from what I understand, this camp has been set up was set up by Resmir a few months ago. Resmir is a black half dragon. Seems to be the leader, though. I've not seen her. There's also a blue half dragon. Cyanrath, I think is his name. It's the under Frula Mondath, who's in charge of kind of who was in charge of day-to-day operations for the
Yes,
Yes,
we know
I
about
believe we
Cyan.
ran into Cyanrath.
Furlong Mothbat.
I was waiting until Furlong Mothbat got mentioned. How long can we go? Hang on, we got in exactly 42 minutes before Furlong Mothbat was mentioned. So, yeah. I believe, from what I understand, there was a cave. And in the back of that cave, I believe that there was some kind of something was being kept back there, and from what I overheard, Resmir was quite attentive to whatever was happening back there.
It's a darn shame we didn't take a look.
Indeed. He kind of like very gently just kind of taps like with his fist, just taps Zed on the shoulder and says, "Training with this one, I've struggled to keep up, and I'm quite sore. I think I may."
That'll cost you 7 hit points. My friend.
It's mean.
What?
He, like I said, he just kind of like gives you like a tap, like a playful like tap on the shoulder, like it was hard to keep up with, the small kobold. He says, "I think I'm going to stay in Greenest for a few days to relax."
And complete your training.
Out of character, Carrington, because Patron in game has had much closer time together than Brad out of game. What was his young disciple's name?
The young disciple who sent you to this mission?
Correct.
Oh, if only I knew. Hang on a second. His name is Nassim Walandra. I love fantasy names. They're my favorite.
I will put my hand on his shoulder and go, "I'm sure Nassim will be happy to see you returned home."
He'll put his hand on yours and say, "I'm sure. Thank you so much. Do you prefer Master Dwarf? Or just
you can call
Patron?"
me Patron.
He says, it does not go against my training, so long as I don't overindulge. He says, but I would love whatever's in that tankard.
Oh, I'll hand him a tankard. You don't
Yeah.
have to ask me twice.
He'll drink. He'll Nice man wanderer. Nice. He clinks with you and then drinks and then wipes the foam from his small beard and says, to the victors and to new friends. And
He's an elf or a half elf?
half elf. You know, without the noise pointed directly in the air. Elves don't do that.
No, only when they're breathing.
Oh wow!
Dang,
That's aggressive. Are you
I
sure
don't
you're...
think in my I
I
don't
need
think in
some
my
sunglasses
30s
for this.
I don't think in my 30-some years of playing Dungeons and Dragons have I ever played an elf.
I almost exclusively play elves, but that's me. Are you sure, by the way, that you're not a fallen Azamar? Because that was a lot of shade. All right.
Who wronged you in a past life, an elf?
All right.
No.
So, you make your way back to Greenest, and after arriving, Leosin rests for a few days, and when you are all able to rest for a few days, he oversees Zed's continual training as well as you're kind of like resting and relaxing here. And he says, my friends, please, after all you've already done for me personally and for the people of Greenest, I need to ask something more of you. And I hate to do so.
Oh, geez. What is it?
Well, the need is great, and I dare hope that you can aid me one more time. I need you to return to the cultist camp. You know your way around now. And the cultists are if the cultists are preparing to conduct another raid, or a large body of them marches away, or if anything substantial is carried out of that cave, I need to know. And if you have the chance to get into the camp and look around again, that would be the ideal way to see if anything's changed.
Is this the general that's asking us again?
No, this is Leosin, your friend.
Okay.
I will say that you were able to convey to him all the information about that, which he is very worried about, of course. He says...
Can we get paid?
Yes, you did. Everyone gets 250 gold pieces.
Let's go.
Including, and very begrudgingly, he gives it to Pip, too. Because he's just like, I didn't read this. Rabbit. He said, Leosin says, my friends, I must say, he has his arm in a sling at this point. He says, I don't recommend getting yourself captured. He adds with a wry smile.
I don't
Question.
recommend it either.
I don't want to take a ton of time. As we were in Greenest, is there like a leather shop or a tailor?
Oh my gosh. Your voice is so deep again.
Oh no, did it do it again?
Yeah. Were you going to tell me that if I don't send you 250 more gold, that I'm never going to see my cat again?
Yeah.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Oh, Jesus.
It's so scary.
Holy cow!
Oh, my God. You
I don't know
need to
why I
hear
keep
your own
switching.
voice.
Oh, I do know why I keep switching.
When did Jigsaw join us?
I'm going to need you to change that back, and I'm going to need you to say, would you like to play a game?
No. I'm going to need you to say, I need you to roll initiative. Or would you like to roll initiative?
I need you to roll initiative.
It's so good.
Now, would you say, please, would you like to play a game?
Would you like to play a game?
Oh,
changed-
that's not right.
changed to
That
robot.
changed. That changed to robot. We went to a different kind of game.
That's amazing.
I love voice mod.
Note to self, get voice mod.
Incredible. Is there a leather shop or a tailor in town?
Yes, there is.
I can pick up a bespoke, like traveling cloak to help kind of cover my wings and stuff.
Yeah, and you'll have the time to do it.
Okay.
While we're in town, after Zed has proceeded along with his training a little bit, and I've had some time to whittle, I would like to hand Zed a rather small and slender little carving of a golden canary.
Oh,
Nice.
what's this for?
Uh, on your path, as you learn things, I hope you learn many, and I hope you find your voice. And I'm gonna just hand him the figure, and like one day you'll know.
Well, thank you.
So I'm gonna create a villain scene as Rezmir is getting ready to leave. Everything's packed up and is leaving the camp. She walks over to where the two posts were, and and kicks something on the ground. Does she bend down to pick it up?
Oh, oh yeah, I guess. Or is there somebody standing around with her, or is she all by herself?
I'll say for this that she's all by herself because I want this to be a little personal.
Okay. So she doesn't sort of bend over. She just kind of crouches.
Uh,
And
with one claw moving the dirt aside,
yeah.
there's a little wooden canary.
What she discovers is a little serpentine-like canary, and it is larger than the one I just handed Zed, but it is very slender in nature. Um, if she knows what it is, I will tell the meaning of it.
Would she know anything about it?
100% yes.
Okay, what would it?
So she has discovered a little serpentine golden canary, one of a set of 7. And this golden canary represents Karua, the Eye, which is a representation of Karua, the Eye, Bahamut's 7 golden worms. It is, in fact, the spy of Bahamut's 7 worms, and is sent on tasks of secrecy to find out information and seek out threats.
So this would be like this. Finding this thing would be like this is an anathema of Tiamat's. Like this is a representation, a clear representation of Bahamut, Tiamat's nemesis.
Right. Would she be able to detect any magic on it at all?
There's nothing magical about it. It is just a very well done little canary that is a clear representation for those who are in the know of what exactly which one of the 7 golden worms it represents.
Okay. So she has it in her hand, and she just kind of opens her claw up and drops it on the ground. And then, I believe black dragons have acid. Is that right?
Yep.
Acid. And she just, you see some of it starting to drip out of her mouth, and she just spits like she's gonna spit on the ground, and spits a stream of acid right on that wooden carving of the canary, and just watch it sort of just dissolve.
You made the villain mad. You did it.
Excellent. That was the goal. I'm trying to antagonize the villain.
Well,
Yeah, so that was all. That was wonderful. It really was. But I thought she was human.
she's not. Rezmir
Oh,
is
she's
not
not?
human.
Oh, Rezmir. Okay. I
Fru
thought
on
it was-
Mothbat
Mothbat
is.
Okay, Fru and Mothbat. This is the okay.
I've just
Sorry,
given
I
up.
was
That's her name
confused.
now. Yeah, this
that's
is
canon
Res.
now.
Yeah, this is Rezmir.
100% canon. Change the module.
No, I'm not doing it. All right.
Yeah, she's a half dragon. She has a breath weapon. So.
Mm-hmm.
For fun and curiosity, Zed, why don't you give me a either a religion or a history check?
I guess so. Let's see. Nope.
Nope. But that was a pretty low roll. I think it might be time for a dragon fact instead.
Let's go! Dragon Facts with Zed.
Welcome to Dragon Facts with Zed.
These don't normally come out all willy-nilly.
It's up to you. If you want to save the dragon fact until later, we can.
I wish I could give you my voice mod so you could do like a eyes roll back and you just spit a random dragon fact.
Right? I have to pull. The problem is I don't have the book on me. Yeah. Someone in chat, give me a number 1 to 100. No people are there. Cool.
There it is.
50.
There's 57.
57.
Heinz 57.
I see. So during one of the training breaks between Zed at this point, it's Leo. It's not Leosin, it's Leo. So him and Leo, yeah, absolutely. Zed changes every name.
Love it.
And so during the train, like while they're taking a break from training, you know, hydrating or whatnot, like Zed just kind of looks over us. Leo, you look like you could use a good dragon fact. And he like scurries over to his bag and grabs his book and flips it open and is like, you know what? It's believed that if you took a bath in dragon's blood, it'll help you see into the future. Dragon facts.
Dragon facts. Wow, seeing into the future, huh?
Apparently, I don't know. Maybe. It's not what I'm looking forward to though. It's not what I'm looking forward to most.
It's got to be true. It's written in the book of Dragon Facts.
Yeah, it's true.
No,
Who am I to argue with the book of
right.
dragon facts?
That's right. I mean, it's like Googling something. Google says this, so it must be true.
Nice.
Dragon facts aren't grammatically correct, but we're gonna run with it.
Hang on, you spelled dragon facts wrong.
It's not that kind of facts.
The book of dragon is the law. I feel like afterwards we should just be like, the book is spoken every time.
The book has spoken.
I mean, that's basically
canon.
it's basically like when Zed ends it with dragon facts. Like that's basically the same thing.
All right, well then I think that's what we need to do. The book is spoken. All right.
The book has spoken.
Ah! Still let it be written. Still let it be done. All right, so the party is now making their way back to, or is the party going to make their way back, or do anything else before they make their way back to the place?
How much
that
gold
wasn't-
do I need to mark off for my traveling cloak?
Traveling clothes? I don't know.
The coat I'm gonna have either tailored or made to kind of cover my wings, but still give me the ability to flare them out if I need to.
Probably coal. You know what? Let's do this. Gear.
250 gold.
Adventuring.
Don't do that.
Whoa, that's a lot.
That thing better be gold lined and come with some kind of magical
Traveler's
thing.
clothes, probably, or fine clothes.
I'd like it to look pretty good. I'm bougie.
Oh, you're bougie. 15 gold.
200. Like I said, 250 gold. To Zed.
That's kingly level bougie right there. 250
Yeah.
gold.
Well,
Jeez.
I mean,
in this economy though, that's a steal.
In this economy.
in the panoramic, that's a steal.
Yep.
Oh, so while Leo and Zed we're talking about going back to the campsite, it wasn't just a mission for Zed, but for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. I mean,
Yep. He wants everyone to go
Yeah,
back.
I'm down.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've taught me some things. I'm willing to give it a try.
So we're to go back, infiltrate the cave. Is that the
Go back and
See
see what
what's
you
in
can
there.
find.
All right. Well, we'll take our generously handed to us cart and horse
Yes.
that no one asked for back. Haha. Negotiation.
He says that as soon as he says, my friends, as soon as I am healthy again, which I am feeling better each day, my steps feel stronger, and he says, and my bruises ache less. He says, I plan to travel north to the city of Elturel. There I will meet with a friend of mine, and discuss the cult's recent surge in activity. So when you
Can I assume?
go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, can I assume we took a long rest in between these days?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everyone's long
Where-
rest.
Where am I from again? I can't find it in my journal.
Where am I from?
Me too. Let's see, Gibraltar. I don't think you have a specific location.
Oh, sweet. Okay, we'll decide that later.
Yep. Oh, by the way, Carrington's rule. When it comes to Roll20, love the program. Save your work, save your work, save your work, save your work. Always just hit that save button, because if you don't and you hit back or you bump something and close the window, you lose everything. Save your work, save your work, save your work. Anyways, I digress. So we're heading back to the camp.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. We're gonna fade in some suitably heroic music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, and as you when you arrive, it takes you the same amount of time to get there. You actually, as you approach, you find it mostly, you find the camp mostly abandoned.
They bugged out.
Do you need any perception checks to see if there's any lingering people or anything?
Yeah, you can make a perception check.
Assuming it's daylight, so that's gonna be.
I'll assist with that. No need.
Nailed it. It reveals to you that most of the camp's wagons and pack animals moved in a train towards the west, but there does not seem to be much left. You can see that there are the huts that are in this area here, and we're not even on the right page right now.
You want to bring us to the campsite?
Gosh, golly, I sure do. Boom. Transition. All right, so these tents down here and tents down here are both just like burned, like they burned them to the ground. The two guard towers are still there, but they are actually not. They're not inhabited. No one's there.
Did they
Leo!
say? Did he say there was a cave?
Yes, there's a cave back
Yeah.
here.
Maybe
go
we
back
ought to
and check out
out
the
that
cave.
Yeah.
All right.
Leo, what are you doing with us? I thought you were gonna stay behind.
Oh yes, my friends. I'm just here in spirit.
Astral projection.
Astral projection. Boop. All right. And so we talked about. So there are actually left here. There are some hunters, just kind of over here hanging out. They're covered in like pelts. They're their outfits are made of, their jerkins and whatnot are made out of like leather. Like they look like fur trappers and whatnot. They look like a pretty surly bunch.
Do they look like they were with the cult?
They look like trappers. Like, I don't know. Every one of them looks like Daniel Boone. What do you think?
Where's the cave?
I think we should take the cart up to the cave, and if they give us any problems, we'll tell them, hey, we're here to make sure that everything, all the valuables have been cleaned out, and then we'll be off.
Okay. So you just roll up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Don't
we know what
start
we're
nothing,
doing.
It won't be nothing.
Yep. So you roll up, and they just kind of look at you, and they watch you as you go. One of them spits a string of black liquid on the ground.
Ew.
Attractive.
Yep. And then just looks back at his friend. They mutter something, and then they keep watching you.
Take a picture, it'll last long.
Here they'll steal your souls.
Too soon
Have
for
tiny
that.
demons in them.
Yep. Do you go back to where you were kept hostage and look at it?
Oh yeah.
There's a scorch of ground where you left that thing, and it looks like there's like some pieces of it, but the rest of it looks like it's been burned as though by acid. Wonder how that happened.
I will, as I walk by and notice it, I will give it a glance, notice what has happened, and as I have already replaced that carving, I will give it a little grin, knowing that my message was most likely received.
Excellent. So we're going into the cave.
Yep.
All right, I'm moving us over here to the cave. Here's the cave. Pew! Teleportation. All right, let me copy this. And it's cave time.
Ah, it's so dark.
Hey, is it possible for you to give me dark vision? Because one of the things that I can do is infuse an item, and I made me some dark vision glasses.
I can absolutely give you dark vision. How far can you?
A rabbit with 60 feet. So yes, a rabbit with steampunk goggles.
Heck yeah.
Oh, those are nice.
I like the steampunk goggles. That's fun.
Yep.
I wear my sunglasses.
Sunglasses, they really screw up my sight.
All right.
That's a dated reference, man. That's a deep cut. I doubt many people know that.
I mean, it's still kind of a meme.
I was bopping along with it.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. It still exists.
Don't worry, we all elder nerds here.
Oops. There we go.
Believe the correct
Does
term
my
is
heart
elder.
proud.
There we go. All right. All right, and let's see here. So let me describe the. Yeah, we're not doing that. So the cave entrance is broad and tall, but the ceiling quickly lowers to a height of 15 feet. Standing guard inside. Oh yeah. Whoops. Don't worry about that.
No
So they're standing
metagaming.
guards?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
we-
do not appear to be any there do not appear to be any guards at this time.
I like the tripwire on the floor there.
Don't worry about it. That's not the tripwire. That's
that's
that's where like the cave entrance begins.
Ah.
Patron will peek his head in the cave and give it a percepciones.
Go ahead.
That's the line where as soon as Zed crosses it, he's no longer at disadvantage on his perception checks.
Woof.
Pew 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 pew. There it is.
Well, it looks safe to me.
Yep, sure does. Gosh golly, sure does.
I'm I'm gonna check it too.
By the way, I just want to point out a failure is a 7.
That's pretty ridiculous, by the way. For level 3, wow, it's pretty
oh my
alright.
Gosh.
Hey, Pip. Looks pretty safe.
Yep.
As I said, a failure is a 7.
Pip is just dying for some revenge. Hoping to find some cultists.
Yeah, Korash is
we
gonna
all,
trust
we
the
all,
two
we all
people
apparently think
beforehand.
it's pretty safe.
Yeah,
cross that
Korash is
line.
just gonna trust the rest of the people. So, tally ho, Pip Pip.
Yes. What?
Wait, guys, not yet.
Patron, as he's like picking his tooth, walking into the cave, like, huh?
Guys, wait. Carrington, I rolled a 22.
What does that mean?
That means that you detect some movement over here.
Be careful, guys. Careful, guys. There's some things in there. I don't know what, but there's some things.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger indeed, and I will go ahead and throw. Here we go. Some fun, nice little, some cavern sounds in the background.
That definitely would have ran up behind Patron and been like, "Wait,
Look out! All right, let's go ahead and with that, we'll. This guy will step out. Well, no, we'll wait. I'm going to say that you guys get. Those of you who failed, we'll get a little bit deeper in the cave. We'll say here, or something.
Zed definitely crossed the line so that he could do a normal roll." So.
All right, everyone, go ahead and roll the initiative.
Remember to click on your token.
Yep, make sure you select your token.
That is on fire. Not only was he perceptive, but he nat 20'd this roll. Let's go.
Let's go. And here's our initiative. Let's go. Let's go. What's your initiative? Or what's your dexterity modifier? Zed.
Ooh.
Zed.
50.
Is it +3?
Yeah.
Is your dexterity 16?
That is 17.
It's a 17?
Yes.
There you go. You go first.
Yeah.
All right. Time for some battle music.
Oh, I've never seen these before.
Have you not seen these guys before?
I don't recall.
They're cultists, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's what I can tell from the itty bitty little token.
I was going by the what they are in the chat, or like what they are in the chat. Zed is going to. Oh, they are cultists. We definitely hate the cultists.
Got
So
that
Zed, so Zed, not afraid of cultists. He hates them. Gonna run up to this one.
Sure.
He's going to give it a good
here's
old.
what he looks like. Boom.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we've seen them before.
something like them before.
Gonna give him the
Look
punch.
Guy looks like he's been at Fashion Week in Paris.
Yeah, in fact, we are going to give them a punch.
From the runway to the cavern.
Yep.
So, yeah, Zed's gonna run up and is like, you guys suck," and is gonna give a punch.
Dragon facts.
Does a 15 hit?
A 15 does in fact hit.
All right. So, as Zed makes contact with the cultist like thigh, because I'm assuming they're taller, you notice little bursts of flame kind of shoot off from his fists when he makes contact with the cultist's thigh, and does 4 fire damage.
Just he takes 4 damage total.
Yeah, it's specifically fire damage.
Okay.
And then bonus action time.
Doing it again.
Yeah. It's just gonna be a normal punch. Normal punch. We're gonna save the key for a little bit.
Okay. That'll 22. I'm happy to say will hit
for another 6.
Consecutive normal punches.
Yep. All right.
Well, the first one did some fire damage. It was a fire fist, and then the second one was normal.
All right. This guy right here is going to attack Zed twice.
Ah!
Nice. All right. So here we go. Hiya. 13 hit.
Does not.
How about? How about a
13?
13?
Does not.
All right.
Nah.
Hiya.
Ah! Oh no, they have the snack tactics.
They sure, gosh golly, they sure do.
I don't feel good about this, Mr. Stark.
My favorite thing is we also get this ability.
Extra damn.
Does a 20 hit?
Sure does.
16 damage.
Nice knowing everyone.
All right.
What?
And then our
down?
No.
No.
One more attack. With advantage, 23.
Yeah.
You take that 2 points. All right, Patron, it's your turn. What was that?
3. Zed's at 3.
That's ridiculous.
Let me tell you about the dragon cultists. Not regular cultists, but dragon cultists. They are ridiculous, and I love them. They're some of the best designed monsters, and they're stupid overpowered, and I love them. But they're also glass cannons. They do so much damage, but like one of them is like a breath mint could take him out. All right, Patron, it's your turn.
Well, I will pull out one of my little wooden canaries, and I will clench it in my fist and speak a few words. And I'm gonna cast
Magic missile. Oh, dang! That's a choice.
on the one that hit my little friend.
They both did.
Well, it hits both of them, right? When you cast Moonbeam.
5 foot.
Oh, so
5
it's just one.
Yeah, I have to choose one. But then if they enter the space and at the beginning of their turn, they have to make a Constitution saving throw. So, the first time each turn they enter the space, they make a Constitution saving throw and will be taking 15 radiant damage.
Dang. That's a lot.
Also, it's kind
Wow.
of like daylight. It it does all those normal things that daylight does. Shines a whole bunch of light in the room. In addition to that, I would like to be a brown bear, please, because I am all kinds of angry.
Yeah, you can be a brown bear.
That's a spicy meatball.
If you want to put one over the first one that attacks Zed.
Sounds good.
The-
I'm actually
the spell
creating a
effect.
token. How far can it see, by the way, that thing?
The light it sheds? Hold on.
Yeah. 60 feet?
Let me just share the spell.
Love it.
Let's see. Silvery beam of pale light shines down a 5-foot radius, 40-foot cylinder on the point within the range. The spell ends. Dim light fills the cylinder. Wait, so a silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder, center on the point within range. So the center takes the damage?
Yep.
Whenever a creature enters the area of the spell for the first time each turn or starts there, it is engulfed in ghostly flames. Constitution saving throw takes 2d8 radiant damage on a failed save or half as much on a success.
So is it a 5-foot radius? Is that correct?
5-foot radius, yeah.
Okay.
It has a 120-foot range, and it's a 5-foot radius, and it's a 40-foot high cylinder.
All right, here we are. So the nice thing is, boom, here's a brown bear. I'm pretty sure you can just drop it right here. Because it's radius, because it's radius.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Then, yeah, drop it right there. I would like to drop it. Hold on.
Holding.
Move it. No, that's correct. That's a correct placement right there. All right, now I will move my token and do my other stuff. So it says the first time they enter it each turn or at the start of their turn. So does it, when I put it down, does that count as the first time entering it?
No.
No.
I'm gonna come right here.
So it's a moonbeam. So what if we made it like this color? Yeah, that looks kind of
You will nail them
moon-like.
at the start of their turn, so there's that.
Yep.
All right.
And then it's your turn, or then you're done. Is that right?
No, yeah, that'll be it. I've changed shape. I've gotten into snack tactics range and cast moonbeam. Yep, that's my turn. So at their start of their turn, if they fail their saving throw, they take that damage.
Okay. Mordok, it's your turn.
Okay. I shake my head. Look at Zed.
Sorry.
And cast that.
He's not dying.
Yeah,
I
he's
can
not.
do that.
He's
I'm
not
not done.
dying yet.
I'm at 3.
Oh, you're not dying yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Well, that's too
Not
bad.
yet. Zed's,
That's too bad.
Zed's very
Cast
beat
it
up.
at him anyway. Why not?
It would have been better had you died. Went to 0. Oh well. Okay, so one of you geeky guys has to figure out a way that when I cast this spell, I get a little on the. This is going to be on the one that Zed hit. I get a little bell sound.
Oh, dong.
Ding.
Ringy dingy.
One ringy dingy.
We need a sound clip of like church bells just dinging and
Right.
succession.
Hold on, hold
Yeah.
on, hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
Somehow I have to
They
link it
have
to
it.
the spell.
Is it this guy right here?
Yeah, the one that Zed hit. So he needs a DC 13 Wisdom save.
Rathman can probably take him out.
Yep, sure can. Hey, this guy dies. Alright, anything else from Mordok?
No, because I can't use my bonus action because Zed's still standing up.
Does it have to be a bell or could it be a temple gong?
Temple Gong's fine.
Yeah, Temple Gun would be fine.
The Gong
Did you
Show.
hear it?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll have to figure that out.
Alright. Korash.
Yes, sir.
It's your turn.
So, I would like to. First off, I would like to move up here so I can see. I'm just peeking around. Is there only one now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What happened to the other one?
It died.
He went on the Gong Show.
Oh, lit. So I was back here. I'm gonna measure so I'm not cheating on you here. Oh, that's not the measuring tool. Do the thing.
Julie, do the thing.
I'm gonna come down here. And I am going to, with my crossbow, cast, I think with my crossbow. Give me a second, I may be able to do something better. No, with my crossbow, I am going to attack. Successfully, might I add.
A fair hit?
So, he takes that damage. Oh, really put it to him there.
He looks at you with anger.
I'm sure he does.
All right.
That's all I got, man.
All right. Pip.
Pip's just gonna shoot his gun. Because seems, the best way to handle this at this point. So he just pulls out his pistol. And
I thought you had a rifle too. Do you have both?
I do have a rifle. The 14 hit him.
A 14 hits him.
All right. And damage.
There you go.
6 points of damage.
-6. All right, and it is Zed's turn.
Oh, I'm gonna move too.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
I'm gonna move down here. I want to make sure we're not getting flanked. I'm good.
So after getting absolutely whooped on by this cultist, because that's the one that hit him, Zed's kind of like hunched over, like arms wrapped around his waist, but he does that thing where he looks up at the enemy and just knows that it's time to finish him, and will proceed to attack. Nice. Not only so does a 9 hit.
And 9 does not hit, unfortunately.
Nice. He will go ahead and spend a key point and unleash a flurry of blows.
Okay.
Here's the first one. 15.
Hits.
All right. For 4.
Yep.
And then crit.
Yep.
For 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And Zed doesn't kill, so he just fainted.
Okay. That moonbeam cooks him, though.
I'm just calling it like Zed calling it.
So you punch him, and he like tries to lunge at you, and you like push him backwards into the moonbeam, and Patron's just like, turn it up to super mode, and he gets beamed out of there. He's defeated. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hurt.
All right. That my favorite part about that was moonbeam. Gesundheit.
Didn't do anything, but look cool.
Gosh, it sure does. I'm gonna go ahead and. Are you gonna cast it again?
Am I gonna cast it again? What?
I'll remove it for now. All right. Hey, look. There's a guy. All right.
I quickly jump up onto Patrick's back. I'm
heal
hurt.
Heal for 7.
Well, I will say, since it's still around, I'm going to use it to illuminate our path as we walk through this cave for the next 10 minutes.
Does moonbeam last 10 minutes?
Not 10 minutes, for the next minute, like, if we're still in initiative turn order.
You're gonna move it over here.
Oh, I'm going to move it right behind that pillar just in case somebody else was hiding over there. Also, speaking of which, why is my sight not working?
Who's your bear?
Oh.
Hang on a second. You should be able to see this one. Edit. Yeah. Here you go. Oh yeah, because when you're a bear, you lose dark vision.
Yep.
Yep. There
So
you go.
silly.
All right, and then Moonbeam goes away. Bloop. All right, and
Yeah, I point my laser beam all over the place, and then it goes away.
it sure does. Well, this is a good time for us to take a quick 10-minute break. So we'll come back in a few minutes, and I will kill the battle music for now. We'll see everyone in 10 minutes. Hey everyone, we're back. Carrington here from Open Heart Games. We are continuing our playthrough of the Tyranny of Dragons. We're in part 1, which is Horde of the Dragon Queen. Chapter 3, which is entitled something. The Dragon Hatchery. So, they have made it into this cave. And this cave, they have defeated the 2 guards at the front of this cave. Zed taking a little bit of damage after he punched using his new Way of the Ascended Dragon abilities. And here we are. Let's go ahead and go to where we are in the cave. Just through the mouth of the cave, we've got some creepy cave noises going on in the background. And where do we want to go from here? Currently, it looks like there are 2 pathways. There is a pathway that seems to go here, and a pathway that seems to go here. And also, I don't think our bear can see.
But have no fear, the kobold who can see is riding him like a pony.
I will say one of the things that's fun is every single member of the party. I sat down and looked at this. Now with the new sunglasses that Pip has, everyone has dark vision except currently the druid who normally has dark vision.
Just doesn't have it when he's a bear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all speak Draconic as well.
I definitely do.
Yeah, I'm a kobold. I would know Draconic.
Yeah, I just love the not metagaming.
I chose Dragon Scholar. Only made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figure Pip would learn the language of his enemies.
I like it.
But yes, you have a blind bear who doesn't know which way to go.
How effective would it be to have the fact that Zed can see and can kind of like ride him like a pony? Like how, like clearly the bear can't just decide where to go, but like the bear should be able to like.
Well, if we want light, let me
easily
know,
follow.
and there will be light.
Well, the bear can't tell you he would want light, but the bear's like looking around in darkness, like.
What was that
Let
again?
be-
What's the sound? That's the sound that the bears make.
Zed just like pats between the ears, like there.
That
It's
didn't
okay.
work.
Are we casting light?
Yep.
My favorite thing is we have this new little. Oh, I'm so excited! We have this new torch emoji that we can that they put in the game, and it's great. And Mordock, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop a torch right there next to you. Do you see it?
Yep.
All right. What color would you like it to be? What color do you like?
Oh, I think green would be wonderful.
Green. Love it. Okay. Controlled by you, and I'm not gonna name it because it's a torch. You can move it around now.
We're not gonna name it Torchy.
Torchy's Revenge.
So what paths
So you
are
can
there?
are you gonna put it on you or are you gonna put it on the bear?
No, I'm gonna put it on a bear. I don't need it.
All right, it's on the bear.
I'm a glowing bear.
Hang on a second. So now it's on Brad. Boom. So you can mouse over both of your tokens and move them together now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, right? Just select both your tokens and go from there. You
So
glowing
which
bear.
way, guys?
This
There's-
bear is so excited.
Let's
that
talk
he
about
can
this.
see.
So the entrance to this cave. So it looks like there's just one way forward.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well-
we should probably go that way.
That's the way I'm going.
All right. So right now, there's a little. Let's see. There are stairs that go down this way.
Stairs. Bears have a climb speed.
Mm-hmm. You can climb down this way if you want. Okay, stop. Perfect. Hello there, Pip. So the bear climbs down.
With a mounted kobold, because that was already established.
Yeah, it's assumed that wherever the bear is, Zed is.
Okay. All right, Pip, you're good to move.
I'm just moving forward slowly. I don't know how you want to do this.
All right, stop there. It's a good spot for you to stop. So let me describe this area, and you guys can decide what you want to do. So the entrance to this cave ends in a 10-foot drop off. To your right, there are broad steps that are roughly hewn through the natural stone ramp. The cavern below is carpeted with a profusion of fungi, ranging from a few inches high to some nearly as tall as an adult. 2 paths lead through the fungi, one on the right and one on the left. Looks like you guys decided to go with the one on the right.
So, myconoids? How do you pronounce that?
I think that might be correct.
I always called them myconids, but it depends on how you accent your syllables.
Yeah, you got to make sure you put the accents on the right syllables.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, and the dreaded number 3. That's a good place for us to start. All right, so initiative. As suddenly.
What the heck are those things?
Correct.
I'm a bear, so I have to use the bear's initiative.
You sure do. You should have full control over that character sheet, though. And a battle music. All right.
Oh, for goodness sakes!
Don't worry, my initiative is going to be not great.
I have +5 to initiative.
Did you get a 6?
I got a 1. Awful.
I got a -2 on one of mine.
There's fungi among us.
Yep.
Fungus Among Us.
Hey, I listened to that album. It was a good album.
All right, so here we are. They exist. And actually, I'm gonna have everyone make, because reasons. Honestly, I'm gonna have everyone make perception checks to see if you notice that these are alive.
No.
Now, if by alive you mean I can smell that they are living beings because I have advantage to smelling checks.
Go ahead and roll that. I'll let you roll it. Yeah. I'll let you roll it. With advantage. Yeah, okay. Alright, so everyone's going to get to act as you notice that these things kind of like wiggle and writhe, except for Korash and Mordok are not going to get to go this round. Alright, so Zed, you're up first. You notice that these funguses, the funguses among uses, wiggle to life, and you can act if you wish.
First, need to take myself off mute. Oh, God, what are those? And without really thinking, he goes ahead and punches this one.
Bops one on the nose.
Yeah. There's a 14 hit.
14 does hit.
Does hit. All right. 5 fire. and then punches it again. Does a 21 hit?
It does.
For another 5.
Okay.
And he's gonna stay safely on the bear.
Bear, it's your turn. What does the bear want to do? Does your bear want to eat mushrooms?
Yeah, bear wants to eat some mushrooms to see if he can trip.
By trip, he means fall down. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and do your thing.
Sorry, my sheet is being annoying. Do I really have to make you full screen so I can click the button?
You can also use the thing. I gave you the permission to use the brown bear in Roll20.
Oh, that's probably a nope.
An 8. An 8 will hit.
Oh lord.
Hey, you kill one. All right, we're skipping Mordok. We're skipping
Hold
Korak.
on.
Oh, sorry.
Multi-attack.
Oh, you got multi-attack. That's right. That'll hit for 7. All right, so we're skipping also Korash. So this first violet fungus over here, I am really
So
excited
the
about
second one's
this.
not dead?
No, it's not. They have a fair amount of hit points.
Turn into 2.
So let me tell you about these. The first time I ran this module, I killed a party with these guys. Because they have this. And I rolled lots of 4s. Alright, so we're getting 2 attacks. So we're going to attack Korash. Does a 9 hit? No. Alright, and we're going to attack Pip. Does a 13 hit Pip? Does a 13 hit Pip? You may be muted.
No, it does not. No,
Hey.
does not hit Pip.
Alright, it is Pip's turn. Perfect.
Okay, so the first thing Pip's going to do is, as a bonus action, he's hopping.
And it ignores initiative, right? Or it ignores attacks of opportunity, right?
That's right. It ignores attacks of opportunity.
Love it.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm just going to rabbit hop my way right out from between these two things.
So like here?
Yeah, I think that's about, if that's 10 feet, yeah.
From where you were? Let's see. 5, 10.
Yeah, 5, 10.
Yeah. So I think you'd end up right there. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
And then as an action, Pip is going to reach into his cloak and he's going to pull out what looks like a carved spider, carved out of wood. And he's gonna look over at Patron and say, "This one's for you, Patron," and he's gonna let this thing go, and it breathes fire. That's what it does.
Oh wow.
It breathes fire.
How's it work?
It's my Eldritch Cannon, and it can walk. And it breathes fire. So
Does it need a miniature?
I mean, you can if you want to. It could be up to like 50 feet away or 60 feet away from me, and I could still
Activate it?
activate it. Yeah, but at any
Wow.
rate, so I'm just give me just a second here. I'm looking for the description of it. So, yeah, it's create the cannon and then So it says that it's a bonus action, but I haven't used my action yet. So can I use my action to activate it, or do I have to wait till the next round?
I think so. You said it uses your bonus action to activate it.
Yeah, normally it uses the bonus action to attack.
Did you? What did you use for your bonus action? It was the jump, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then that'll be your action for this turn.
To activate it, to fire it.
Because you pull it out and use it as your action. Is that right? To like turn it on.
Yeah. What I'm saying is normally it's a bonus action,
Mhm.
but I'm willing to just use it for my action. Can
Okay,
do
then
that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. So it's a 15-foot cone of fire, and half on a dex save. So 2d8, and it's a half on a dex save.
Good thing we're bad at those. So it's gonna hit this guy and this guy.
Sounds right.
Okay. Nope. Nope. Yeah, because I have a -5 to those. So I'll
Roll
just,
Alright.
what was that?
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
Yep. Sure.
Both of them take 9 fire damage.
Of which they are not excited. All right. It's this violent fungus.
I couldn't figure out what shape I wanted the cannon to be, and then I just thought, in honor of the great spider fiasco, he would have been inspired to make it into a spider, and it can walk, so it can climb.
That's
15 feet.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna attack. We're gonna attack you because we have a 10-foot reach with our rotting touch, and we're gonna miss. And
You hit yourself.
yeah, good thing there. I guess it'll reach out and hit this one.
They just start fighting each other.
And it does a bunch of it does some damage to it. And then it will attack the other. They're not smart, so it's attacking the closest thing to it, which is this cleric. I'm guessing that's a no. So cool.
Can I now move? Can I use my movement?
Oh, sorry. Did you want to move?
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead and move then.
If they've got 10-foot reach, though, will I provoke an attack of opportunity?
You will.
Oh, okay. I'm not moving.
That's probably the right call. All right, this is gonna attack. We're gonna see how many we get because we have this silly thing. All right, give me that sweet 4.
Get 1.
All right, we're attacking the bear.
GM hack's disabled. That in fact does not hit a bear.
Sounds good. All right, Zed, it's your turn.
We punch this one. I have to do a little shifting on the old bear, but we'll do the shifting and then we'll do the punching. So Zed says take that. 18.
18, in fact, will hit.
Cool. 5 fire damage. You'll proceed to punch some. Proceed to punch some more. Does a 12 hit?
Yes.
4 more.
Okay.
I am shocked that thing's not dead.
Brown bear, what do you see?
Is that the one I hit earlier though?
Yeah.
Man, it has a ton of hit points then.
Yeah. They have 18 hit points each.
I have no idea why D Beyond is doing this to me today, but
It's
Fight with the beyond.
He's dead.
Can it take an 11 claw?
It sure can. It dies.
You're dead.
Can I use my movement and then use my other attack?
Sure. Are we crashing down there?
Yeah.
Right. Hey, the Zed comes with you. Okay. Hey, look, that hits.
So how does this this mushroom taste to me? Is
Awful.
it delicioso?
Terrible.
But what about to a bear?
Terrible. Yep.
Ah, so I found the licorice of nature.
Yeah, it tastes terrible. Mordok, it's your turn.
Okay. There's only one left.
There is.
Oh. Okay.
Snack tactics.
Is he wounded?
He's on fire, right?
He is burned and is not looking well.
He is wounded. Okay. So the big gong.
I need you to link that spell.
I need to figure out how to whip it so the bell rings.
That's
I
okay.
need to make a. I'm not smart enough to do it, but
Let me see something real quick. I want to see. Does it say that they have to be able to hear you?
no.
Hey, there
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
just necrotic damage. That's all it is.
Oh, cool. It just has to make a wisdom save.
Yeah.
It hears bells ringing in its head.
All right.
Even if
It'll
it's never
take-
heard what a bell
It'll take
sounds
10.
like.
Squish. All right, cool.
That was annoying.
Hey, it's gone. I don't think I got.
Pip says.
Go ahead.
Pip says, "Oh, speak for yourself. I thought that was great." And he holds his arm out, his metal arm out, and the spider crawls up it.
Nice.
It's creepy. I like that.
What video game is it that you have a fire spider? Does anybody remember? What's that game? Where you have a spider and it's like a fire spider?
I do not know.
Got nothing.
I've played too many to recall exactly what that one
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
I know there's a giant spider in Wild Wild West.
Yes,
Oh, that was-
steampunk.
I just want you to know I drank water when you said that and I almost choked to death.
Yeah,
Thank
the,
you.
the original steampunk TV series
Mm-hmm.
was so bad.
Apparently, there's a story about that particular spider because apparently there was a producer who was like, "Yeah, I'll produce whatever you want, but I want a giant spider in it." And they're like, "No, we're not putting a spider in this movie." Okay, well, I'm not producing it. Apparently, he kept pitching the same thing until he got to Wild Wild West, and he got his giant spider. So here we are. Men in Black might have been one of the first ones. And they were like, "No spider. Insect, yes. Spider, no." No, that's what it was. It was a Superman movie, I think, and it was like, I want him to fight a giant spider. Anyways, I digress. We're moving on. Where are we going now? It looks like there's one clear path ahead.
I tap Patrick on the head and I kind of point down the hallway.
All right, so as we let's get to about there. As we enter this area, there's some fungus that kind of dots the area here. There are some
If you're
dead bats.
Pointing, I can't see.
There are what was that? That's a good place, right about here where everyone got.
Okay.
They're on the floor here. There are some dead bats on the ground.
Dead bats on the ground, nothing around them.
Mm-mm.
I will look up to the ceiling.
The ceiling is carpeted with bats. There's lots of bats.
Strahd.
This is giving me all kinds of flashbacks, like a dude with a spider, friggin' bats on the ceiling, like necrotic damage. Are we in a different campaign? I distinctly remember a druid as well.
Suddenly a fog rolls in.
Oh, great.
Nope. Just
No.
back it up.
All right, I need
Actually,
everyone
pretty
who's
no
passing
bats.
through this area to make a stealth check.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good.
Like passing through this area.
Yep, there's one.
Okay. Let me select my token.
Surprisingly, for being a gigantic brown bear, super stealthy.
I want to
13.
check something here real quick. I have this special ability to add a D4 to a dexterity, but it may just be a dexterity check.
Yeah, because we don't want a Scooby-Doo moment where all the bats come out of the cave.
Yeah,
at us.
really. Okay. Oh, it's a dex saving throw, and that's not what this is. Never mind.
Okay.
Oh, you got our rolls.
All right. So as you all are walking very quietly, Scooby doing your way through this area, you hear a squeaking from a metallic arm.
Oh, Pip.
Oh, sorry.
A couple of bats kind of like shuffle, but nothing else happens.
Excellent.
Yep.
I get out my oil can.
All right. So it looks
I
like
doused myself
there's
in
it looks like there's some at least a way to go. Seems to be some stuff here, some stuff here, and looks like some stairs here.
Well, if we know anything about me, it's bears have a climbing speed.
So we going? Are we going down?
I mean, I was planning on it.
Yeah. So the floor drops down 10 feet at each ledge. This area is kind of used as, it looks like a trash heap, and there's a pretty rancid smell here.
Well,
The
as a
bear-
bear with keen senses, I'm gonna be like, ugh, nope.
Yeah, Korash also wants none of that. So
If you look out here, you can see some tantalizing glints of metal out here.
Where down in the little ravine
Down
area.
here. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, shiny objects, however.
It's a trap. Those shinies.
Are we going down?
Oh, I went down.
Okay.
What you got for me?
Get they're down here further. Are we searching?
Bear's more rummage than search, but sure.
All right, cool. you know, you love to hear it.
So is this 10-foot ledge something we can navigate relatively easily, or?
Oh yeah, very easily.
Okay.
Very easily. I'm riding a bear.
Who has a climb speed? I'm gonna
For me,
say
some would say too easy.
all right. Wait, what's that? Is that battle music?
Initiative?
Yep.
Again?
Andy Beyond is acting inappropriately.
Did you do it again?
Yeah, it was an 18 and then it turned to a 5.
Ah, no. The dreaded number 5. The dreaded Mambo number 5.
All right, what you
What?
got for us this time?
Some stuff. Some things. Smells awful in here as these guys step out. They smell...
Troglodyte.
Yep, they smell one of my favorite words.
Wow.
I'm going to put you
Men
here.
in black in the building.
I'm
sorry, I already
gonna
killed
so
him. I
so they
stepped on him.
smell putrid.
Can I take a bite out of one?
Nom nom nom.
I mean, did everyone roll?
Yeah.
Not until I attack. Hello.
I had not rolled initiative, sorry.
You should roll as initiative.
There you go. 21, natural 20, let's go!
All right, there's people.
Man.
Is it my go first?
It sure is.
Let's go.
Hang on, before you start casting stuff
Sure.
and going crazy,
sure.
I'm gonna give you something with your 20. You begin the incantation, and then you look behind you and see the carpet of bats on the ceiling. Just a thought. Korash goes, neat. Throws caution to the wind and chucks a fireball in.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. TBH.
What, fireball?
No, I don't have fireball. That'd be grand. But the carpet of bat.
On the ceiling is covered in bats.
Yeah, I mean, fair. But like,
Yeah, like this area here. All bats.
I
On
think
the
he's
ceiling.
saying if you speak, you're gonna break that stealth check.
yeah, but here's the thing. I have let me give you the name.
Is
I
it
do
silent
believe you have
spell?
subtle spell.
I'm fairly sure, but I want to make sure. No, actually, I don't. Question mark? I have quicken spell.
No one wants quiet spell until they need it.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I can cast a spell as a bonus action now if I spend 2 key points.
2 sorcery points.
Or yeah, sorry, 2 sorcery points. But in this case, I think I'll just... Yeah, I need to do some measuring. Sorry, guys. 25, 35, 40, 40. What's my range? This thing. 80 and 120. Let's go. I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna shoot this guy.
Which guy?
No, sorry. Yeah, it wasn't letting me do it. I'm
Gotcha.
gonna shoot that guy with my crossbow. Does a
twang.
21 hit?
It sure does.
How about we give him 8 points of damage?
Woof.
Wow, that's a good one. Is that max? Almost.
Almost.
That's-
One more would have been.
That's great. Ouch. Anything else?
Nope. That's my turn.
All right. Hey, Pip.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ah, where did he come
we're
from?
gonna do this. So here comes
Ouch.
a bite. Maybe. There it is. Ignore the second one. Does a 14 hit?
Nope.
Does a
That
20?
19 does, and that
Oh,
21 does.
you can ignore the 19.
Oh, okay.
The 21 because
Well,
I.
the 21 certainly does.
So you're taking a total of 5 damage from this guy. Yep, claw bite.
Ow.
Yep. Oh man.
That was bite. That was bite claw.
Yeah, that was my bad. All right, hey, giant bear. Brown bear. What do you smell? Claw. An 18 hit.
Sure does.
So you're taking 3. 16 hit.
Sure does.
Taking 3. And a double critical! Boom! And he's taking. So you're taking 6. Look at that double crit. GM hacks back
I'm
on.
taking 12 in total.
Yeah, I turned him off for the mushrooms. Turned him on for the other thing.
For Trogdor.
Yeah, for the Trogdors.
Ordinators.
Yep. All right, and my guys have an ability, which is great. Nope. All right, Mordock, you're good to go. It is your turn.
You see that? I guess I'll step up here. Wait a minute, I was here. If I can get there. Oh yeah. There. And cast this.
Word of Radiance. Con saves.
Con saves.
Con saves all. Ouch. So this guy's taking 6. And... Oops. That guy's taking nothing.
Well, fine. I'll just be done then.
All right. Zed, I need you to make a con save.
Save A.
Because of this. Which you pass.
Beautiful. Crazy. Neat. That's exciting. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna punch this guy.
I believe you.
Punch that homie. Not a homie. Big meanie. Yeah.
100% hit.
Cool. 7 fire.
I gotta run downstairs and grab my food, guys. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Love it. All right, hang on a second. So this guy, he's dead, but I'm going to leave him here. And here's why. Bam.
Burst into flames.
He bursts into flames and is unconscious.
Yeah. We're gonna do a little slight shifty shift on the bear. And not digging this current situation, so we're going to go ahead and spend another key point and do some flurry of blows on this guy.
Okay.
Punch 1
Hit.
and punch 2
Hit.
for 12 damage.
All right, and he is also unconscious, I think. Yes. Boop.
Go, Zed.
All right,
doing it.
and
You're doing it, little buddy.
he's unconscious too. I put X's on him because reasons. Anything else from Zed?
That is, that is... Yes, Zed will stay on the bear.
All right, sounds good. All right.
Actually, wait. Zed's gonna run behind Mordok over here.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and it is Pip's turn. Pip, I need you to make a con save from the horrible, horrible stench of this troglodyte.
The
Boom.
body stank of
Yep.
this. The power of his stank. Okay, here we go. 13.
You're good.
Okay, so what happens is that this thing kind of comes at Pip out of nowhere, slaps him with his claw, and Pip kind of goes ah, and his metal arm goes up, and out of a little nozzle on the top of the arm, Tasha's caustic brew. I'll put that in the chat here for you.
I'm interested to see what this does.
It's a mini witch bolt.
Nice. So what do I do?
It's a deck.
Deck save.
Yeah.
That's a negative there, Ghost Rider. All right, so he takes 6 damage.
And then he's going to take 2d4 damage every round.
Forever?
Let's see.
Concentration, I do believe.
Yeah, it is concentration. I'm trying to figure out how to put this into the chat.
Boom.
Not display. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
I have you concentrating on a thing now.
Mhm.
All right. And it's Troglodyte's turn. In fact, exactly this... Let me see how smart these guys are. Oh, they are not smart. They're practically feral. We're running in here. We gotta punch that bear. That bear ate our friends. Oh no, it wasn't. It was the little guy.
I in fact have eaten none of his friends, but he has to get through the bear to get to the little guy.
No, the little guy's over there. Little guy's over here. But I don't think he cares. What do we want to do? The bear looks like the big meal. We're gonna go after the big meal. Because they drew blood, so we're gonna say he's attracted to the drawing of the blood. That makes sense to me. All right, here's a bite. 18, 3 damage.
Oh yeah. No to the 5.
All right, he's gonna fall down and he's gonna make his last attack with disadvantage. So 13 hit.
It does.
All right, so 8 damage total, and I'm gonna say your first attack gets advantage against this guy, but not both of them. But it's probably only gonna take 1. Make it so. Oh, you need to actually go ahead and make a. I need you to. I need you to make 3 con saves.
Wait, for the ones that are down as well?
Yeah, because even though they're down, they keep stinking. It's not how it's written in the module, but that's how I'm calling it, because, you know, they would feel like they would smell worse.
Counter argument would the one that was on fire actually be there?
That you burned?
Yeah.
I'll delete that one.
Even so, after I've saved once, I'm immune to it, right?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it that
Pretty sure
closely.
that was how it was written when you linked it.
Yep, you're immune to the stench of all troglodytes for an hour. All right, cool. Bear don't care. I even give you disadvantage on that, and here's why: you're a bear. You have really good senses. Doesn't even matter. All right, go ahead and do your thing. Oh no. All right, roll to hit Mordock.
Advantage on the first attack.
Why? Oh, you're right.
That's
Yeah, you hit. All right, he just dies. Cool. That would have been rough.
I'm gonna move over to Pip and make my second attack. That's the one I just sent.
An 11 will hit. How much damage do you do? Is it just 5?
Yep, just the 5.
All right, sounds good. Korash. Korash. Oh, Korash went to go get groceries, right? Nice. I'm gonna help Korash out. Let's see if it'll let me. We're gonna make another attack with our crossbow.
Yep, GM hex.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
Crit.
and this guy dies. Congrats, you did it. All the troglodytes are dead.
All too easy.
Are we out of combat? Are we out of initiative?
We're out of initiative.
I quickly run over, give my bear a hug, and hop back on.
All right.
I just scritch him under his chin. You know.
Wait a second. Did I
there's some
roll
happy
double
bears, though.
criticals?
You sure did. You're welcome.
How did you roll for me?
I went into D&D Beyond and clicked roll.
GM hacks.
Yeah, I
It is
helped.
GM hacks. It has been confirmed.
Yeah. So the way this is what happens. So you line up your crossbow, you pull the thing back, you take the shot, it goes directly through. I mean, just absolutely, just like through and through the squishy part of him, and it hits the back of the cage, ricochets off of the wall, ricochets off of the ceiling, and then ricochets back and goes back into your bolt case. And you're just like,
as intended.
My favorite part about all this is you are a character with a name, so the GM hacks were very much in your favor.
yep. So what does Korash say after that happens?
I don't know that he says much. I think he looks at the crossbow and then, like, looks at everybody else and is as bewildered as everyone else.
Oh, excellent. All right, now that we've dealt with that, are we digging around in the thing?
Oh, a bear rooting around in some trash.
All right. So we do find some things. This is what we find.
Because you said there were shinies.
There were shinies. The things that you find literally are just like belt buckles and like clasps and things like that, and rivets. Yeah, they have rivets for like coin purses and stuff like that. Nothing really useful. And then, after about 10 minutes of searching, you're about to give up because of the stench. You find a thing. And I will... Why do we have a head of a cultist in party loot? You find an overlooked pouch of 6 ornamental gems worth 10 gold pieces each, and 8 semi-precious gems worth 50 gold pieces each. I'll let you do whatever it is you need there, but it's in party loot. I've dropped it in there. As I mentioned, As I mentioned in previous things, I really recommend having a party loot tracker that one person can, that I guess that your party can kind of, dip in and dip out of. But I'll just show this real quick. That's what it has. As I said, one head of a cultist. For some reason.
I don't know when we.
What is this? Some person playing like in Skyrim picks up head of cultist. Oh yeah, I'll trade this in later.
Quite
Along with my
honestly,
25 cabbages.
quite honestly, I don't think it's something you should question. I think it's just,
Yep.
part of the game.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
I don't
Oh,
know
that's
who-
his Vorpal sword.
Oh man, have I ever wanted one of those?
Oh, there's a Vorpal sword in there now? How'd that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen?
I think if you dig a little deeper, you'll find a sun sword.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll delete that. Anyways, so that's how that works.
What about lightning
Where do we
rod?
want to
That's
head
for
now?
no reason.
Korash is just gonna follow the crew.
Hey, Carrington, can I ask if we can call it?
You want to call it early?
Yeah, I would greatly appreciate it.
No problem. I know, yeah, that's not a problem at all. We can call it a little bit early. This is a really good time to do so. We have some more encounters. And I guess I'll just ask right now on stream. Pip, will you be with us next week?
Let's see, Thursday night? Yeah, I should be able to be here.
Excellent. All right, we'll look forward to more of Pip and Zed and Patron and Mordok and Korash's antics
And the
next
fire
week.
spider.
And fire spiders and all kinds of good stuff. So those of you who have tuned in, we are going to call it a little early tonight. Just as an early recovery day from all of the Thanksgiving fun festivities and everything. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. We'll be streaming for the next 2 weeks in December, and then the last 2 weeks in December, we're going to take off for the holidays for that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week.